Today we are talking about the United States Championship history. Um, so yeah, it's so we're gonna start with like the generalization, and then we get into the history a bit more. Um, so obviously it's a men's professional wrestling championship promoted by WWE, defended on SmackDown. It is one of two of the championships they have that are secondary, including the Intercontinental Championship. Um, so yeah, it did have different names because obviously it was part of Jim Crockett's promotion, and WCW and now WWE. So we did have the name NWA US Heavyweight Championship, NWA US Heavyweight Championship when it was undisputed. And it had the WCW United States Heavyweight Championship. Then it went to WCW United States Championship when it was part of WWE when the invasion, and WWE United States Championship. So now we're getting into the history. So we're going to start out with like when it was in the NWA. So obviously it was part of the NWA. So it began as a regional championship called the NWA United States Heavyweight Championship, one of the several versions of the title allowed in different territories under the NWA bylaws. It was created and defended by Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, ran by Jim Crockett Jr., introduced on January 1st, 1975, and Harley Race was the first inaugural champion. It quickly replaced the NWA Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Championship as the top single title in the promotion. NWA recognised only one World Heavyweight Champion. There was no single undisputed United States champion, as a number of NWA regional promotions recognised their own versions. In January 1981, San Francisco's based NWA territory, Big Time Wrestling, which was the last remaining promotion outside of Mid-Atlantic that recognised its own US champion. It ceased operation around that time, leaving Mid-Atlantic with the only remaining United States Championship. So the title remained the primary championship for Mid-Atlantic territory until '86, when Crockett gained control of the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. The US title then became the secondary championship of the promotion. So then, when after Ted Turner had bought out the company and renamed it the WCW, it named it World Championship Wrestling, known as WCW, in '88. The title continued to be used as a secondary title to the World Championship, and then WCW fully pulled itself away from the NWA, and demonstrated by the company changing its title to the WCW United States Heavyweight Championship in January of '91, and in April of '91. The episode of WCW, Nikita Koloff destroyed the classic '80s United States Heavyweight Championship belt after a post-match brawl with Lex Luger, who was in his fourth reign of the US Championship, and Koloff, who claimed to be the true champion, knocked Luger unconscious, striking him with the belt, and repeatedly smashed the belt into a ring post. Luger would appear without a physical belt for a bit. And then later became the first to wear the newly designed belt, which was used in WCW closing in March of 2001, and after purchased by WWF at the time. So when WWF purchased WCW, they used the United States title during the WWF's invasion storyline, and then it would become deactivated for a year, and because it was being unified with the WWF Intercontinental Championship in Survivor Series, and then the US Champion Edge defeated Intercontinental Champion Test to become the Intercontinental Champion, and in July of 2003, a year after the first brand extension went into effect, the promotion renamed to WWE, and the title was reactivated as the WWE United States Championship by then SmackDown general manager Stephanie McMahon. So obviously the general manager Stephanie McMahon She came up with a new complete design, and it was commissioned to be a secondary championship for SmackDown. As you can see on the screen, that is what it looked like. And the one before that was the NWA. No, that was the one before. The one before this one was the WCW Championship, and that's what that looked like. This one's the one from 2003, I believe, until when did they change it? They changed it a couple of years ago, I think, to the current championship. But that's what it looked like since 2003 until they changed it once again. And obviously, I'll put on a picture later when I talk about it of John Cena's spinny belt after I've gone through this, just so then you get a. Because once I get into the belt design, then I can show you each design on screen. But this is what this one looked like at the time when they reintroduced it. So this was making this championship the only one from WCW to be reactivated as a WWE title. But the WCW Cruiserweight Championship had also become a WWE title, but it was not deactivated then reactivated. It was replaced by the Light Heavyweight Championship during the invasion. Anyway, Eddie Guerrero became the first US Championship after the reactivation by winning the tournament at Vengeance, defeating Chris Benoit in the final match. This was done shortly after the Intercontinental Championship was recommissioned by Raw, making the title an equal counterpart. And the first brand extension ended in August 2011. This allowed the United States Championship to be defended, as well as all other titles to be defended both on Raw and SmackDown. And then in 2015, they introduced an updated version of the Grand Slam Championship, and the US Championship became officially recognised and as a component of the re-established honour. And in August of that year's SummerSlam, US Champion John Cena faced WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins in a winner takes all match, and Rollins ultimately won, and he became the first wrestler to hold both titles. Rollins held both titles until Cena defeated him at Night of Champions the following month, and in July of 2016, WWE reintroduced the brand extension during the draft. The US champion at the time, Rusev, was drafted to Raw brand. Days later, he defended the title against SmackDown draftee Zack Ryder at Battleground, and he won, keeping the title exclusive to Raw. And in 2017, US champion Kevin Owens, along with the title, moved to SmackDown. As a result of the shake-up, Owens already had scheduled defending the title against Chris Jericho, and then general manager Daniel Bryan declared regardless of who won at Payback, the US Championship would remain at SmackDown. Jericho defeated Owens, and he was transferred to SmackDown with the title, so the title stayed in Raw. SmackDown. And then during the 2018 shake-up, the title briefly returned to Raw, and Jinder Mahal, because the champion at the time, Jinder Mahal, was drafted to the brand. However, it was immediately returned to SmackDown after Jeff Hardy defeated Mahal for the title and was drafted to SmackDown the next night. The championship definitively returned to Raw in 2019 when the reigning champion Samoa Joe was drafted to the brand during the year's Superstar Shake-Up. During November 8th, 2024, episode of SmackDown, general manager Nick Aldis introduced the women's counterpart of the United States Championship, which I will now put on the thing so you know what that one looks like. Just saying, I don't actually know why, but my computer's being a dickhead. So you can see where you're recording, but it's not letting me fucking do this because it's being a twat. Because it's just got rid of my internet. Right, so yeah, my computer was playing up then because it decided it didn't want to give me internet. So, but yeah, that is what the US counterpart of the modern design. Oh, this is the women's one. I will get into. Well, I don't think because this one doesn't have much history, so I might not do that just yet. That might be like years, like next year or something. Mainly because it's just being introduced, so it might not be a history one. But yeah, so we're gonna get into like belt designs now. So we can going to start, like, obviously with the WCW, and then we're going to go into, like, the reactivation, and then John Cena's, and then, well, that won't be under costume designs. Yeah, we're going to get into that now, actually, because it does have quite a few different designs. So this is what the WCW United States Championship looked like. So from 91 to 95, so it featured five plates. A centre plate on gold background consisted of the map of the United States with a flag shown along with an eagle on top of the plate shown as WCW logo, and two banners reading on the black background United States. And then along the two stars on each side. And yeah, so then on the bottom it says heavyweight champion, and heavyweight wrestling champion. And then on both sides of the plates, each side featuring one of the United States flag with text United States, and with the other showing the two wrestlers grappling, the WCW logo on top and the text champion on the bottom. After its minor update in 95, the belt now featured 3 plates at the centre. Slightly redesigned with the text World Championship Wrestling. This belt would also appear in WWE US programming until November 2001. So yeah, I'm going to believe, because you might see it change in a minute. Yeah, but that one's for the 1991 to 1995. So it only changed a little bit from then, and then getting into the reactivation. That's what I was trying to say there. Right, so you see on screen, this is along from 2003 till it changed recently, like in the past few years. So after its reactivation in July of 2003, it was renamed as the WWE United States Championship and was redesigned. The belt consisted of 5 plates. The centre plate is a heptagon with an enlarged US flag along the company scratch logo, but that one doesn't have that. That was when it changed. But instead of this bit here, where my mouse is, it had a scratch logo as the old one. But yeah, let's click this one. You see there where my finger is? That's half of what it is. So this is what it looked like after its reactivation. It just slightly changed over the years. So yeah, it's had the scratch logo located at the top of the main plate with the white and black paint. Below the logo was a gold banner saying World Wrestling Entertainment etched inside. The centerpiece main plate is a black banner with the words United States Champion etched in gold. On the bottom of the centerpiece, the name of the plate etches the main plate 2 screws, and at the back, one of the side plates featured a new light etching on the American Bold Eagle resting on top of the shield, with the WWE logo painted white on the red and red within the shield, with an eagle holding the red and white strapped banner, as well as a blue painted square and a white star in the centre is placed above the eagle. The other side plated featured a portrait of the Statue of Liberty surrounded by 4 stars on each corner. And in August 2014, the United States Championship belt, along with all other pre-existing championship belts in WWE at the time, received a minor update, replacing the logo standing scratch logo with the WWE's current logo, which is, let me go back, because yeah, so that's the one I showed you before. Let me just get back up, because obviously it was this one. Yeah, so you just replaced that basically. So yeah, and on July of 2020 episode of Raw, 17 years after reactivation, MVP introduced a completely new design. So I'll get that one up for you to look at. This one is the one that MVP introduced. So now featured only 3 plates. The centre plate is upside down heptagon. Um, and on the top portion, um, of the centre plates featured the WWE logo flanked by white stars on a gold background. Below this, the United States is written in red, and the champion prominently written in blue. 8 stars divide the two. Below the word champion is an eagle with the wings spread out across the plate, with the red and white stripes along the American flag beneath the wings. Coming in line with WWE's other championship belts, the belt featured 2 sides of plates removable centre section that can be customized by champion's logo, and the default plates consist of gold WWE's logo over the silver globe. That's the modern one, which also I have showed you the women's counterpart of that, which looks like exactly like this one, but it has white strap. Like the Intercontinental one looks very similar to the Intercontinental men's one, but with a white strap. That's all they've done with that, and then we're going to go into costume designs. Start with Lance Storm's costume design, which I'll get up. So yeah, this is what Alright, so this is what Lance Storm did, but he unofficially renamed it as the Canadian Heavyweight Championship to compete complete with the large Canadian flag stickers that cover the pelt's face plates. So that's just basically what he did when he won it. When he was a heel, he just basically changed it to make it out like it's a Canadian championship rather than the US championship. So we're now going to get into John Cena's reign in 2004 and 2005 when he had the spin belt. So I'm going to get that up. This is what basically his looked like from 2004 2005. I actually have one of these belts. So it was used during his championship run. Fits with his hip hop persona at the time. It basically was just like a spinner belt. Yeah, so that's just basically what it is. I do have one of these. I'm just trying to sort my dog because she's being an idiot. But yeah, we're gonna get into LA Knight's one in a minute. Just give me a second to sort out my dog. But yeah, from what it says on here, he reintroduced his own costume version featuring his LA logo knight on all white along the black strap. I will get a picture of that up in a minute. It's just so yeah. So let me just get that up. Right, so it's very hard to find that, but as you can see across here, across the thing, you can see LA there. But that's basically what he's done to when he won it. He just changed the strap of his to LA Knight. With so yeah, I'm gonna get into the reigns and stuff, but I don't know how many reigns there is. Hang on, let me have a look. There's 186 reigns among 107 different champions. So Harley Race was the first ever champion. Ric Flair has the most reigns at 6. The longest reigning champion is Lex Luger, 523 days from May 1989 to October 1919. Stunning Steve Austin's second reign was the shortest, lasting 5 minutes. Dean Ambrose is the longest reigning champion under WWE's banner at 351 days, lasting May 2013 to May 2014. And Booker T and Seth Rollins are the only 2 men to hold both US championships and world championships at the same time. And in Booker T's case, it was the world title with the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, and Rollins held the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Both Lex Luger and Goldberg were US champion when they won their first world championships, but unlike Booker T and Rollins, they vacated the US championship. And Terry Funk is the oldest at 56. And David Flair is the youngest at 20. And between NWA, WCW, and WWE, the title has been vacated 21 times. Only 2 men have held the title for a continuous reign of 1 year or more, and that's Lex Luger and Rick Rude. And Elijah Dragunov is the current champion, and he won defeating Sami Zayn. Now that is of recording. So yeah, these championship videos are going to be shorter than a company one. Depends on the championship. Obviously, the second titles of long history. But I'm not going to get into the reigns because there's quite lot of them. But you can look on things. But yeah, so um, hopefully the champion, hopefully, yeah. So there's a lot of different championships that the US wants. That's the international one for a totally different company there. But yeah, because as you can see, I'm just looking for, yeah, because obviously a load of people do their own costume versions, as you can see. This one someone's done. I sometimes do that, like on 2K25. I'll just or do them. But yeah, I don't really have a favourite costume they have. Design. I quite like John Cena's spinner one, but I think I liked the old one before this one, the current one, the one from 2003 where it's basically a general design of it was better. But if you like to comment or your costume designs or something like that, go ahead or comment which one you prefer or who's your favourite champion. Um, but yeah, hope you enjoy it.